A former school principal was in court this morning. She's accused of killing her husband. A Bakersfield doctor is scheduled for a court date today, alleged of being involved in billing fraud. And a manhunt is on for the person who broke into a local home and performed lewd acts. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Jansen. We begin here with breaking news at noon. Jeremy King, the man wanted in the murder of 5-year-old Kason Guyton, escaped police this morning. Police just announced that about 2 this morning, BPD officers spotted King as the passenger in a red Dodge Charger being driven by Tanisha Thomas. They tried to stop the car near Hughes Lane and South Myrtle Street, but Thomas took off. By the time they caught up with her, King had gotten out of the car and escaped. Officers arrested Thomas and searched the area looking for him, but could not find him. Thomas was booked on suspicion of being an accessory after the fact for helping King escape. In February of 2017, Kason Guyton was in his mom's boyfriend's car heading home from a movie. He and his 7-year-old brother were shot. His brother survived, but 5-year-old Kason Guyton did not. The Bakersfield Police Department reminds the public that Jeremy King is considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information regarding this investigation, call the BPD at 327-7111 or Kern's Secret Witness Hotline, where you can remain anonymous. That number is 322-4040. Court watch now. A former elementary school principal is accused of killing her husband and was back in court today. Leslie Chance appeared this morning with her attorney. Prosecutors say that Chance shot and killed her husband Todd and left his body off a dirt section of Noriega Road near Enos Lane back in 2013. She was principal of Fairview Elementary School when police first arrested her days later. But Chance was released when the DA's office sent the case back to detectives for further investigation. Police arrested Chance again in 2016. The trial in the case was set to begin in June, but a judge tossed it out when the public defender's office declared a conflict of interest. Chance is due back in court Monday to find out whether her retrial will begin or yet again be postponed. The trial is estimated to last for 4 months. She faces life without the possibility of parole if found guilty of first-degree murder. A Bakersfield gynecologist and cosmetic surgeon wrapped up in an alleged billing fraud scheme is set to appear before a judge today. Dr. Jason Halliwell is accused of grand theft, conspiracy, and making false claims for health benefits and faces 31 felony charges. There are 2 other defendants in this case, Brandon Williams and Tambra Head. Halliwell appeared in court several weeks ago, but the judge pushed back the arraignments until today. Court documents reveal Halliwell is alleged to be involved in at least 2 more fraud schemes. You may remember in July 2018, the state medical board placed Halliwell on 42 months of probation after several allegations of misconduct. Bakersfield police are working to track down a person investigators say broke into a house and performed inappropriate acts next to a teenager. It happened at a home on Bell Terrace just off New Stein Road around 1:30 Saturday morning. Police say the man broke into the house through an unlocked front door. A teenage girl inside the house woke up and found the man standing next to her bed performing lewd acts. Then he took off on foot. The man was last seen wearing an orange long-sleeve shirt and black shorts. An investigation's underway after a man was killed in a shooting late last night in Delano. It happened just before 6 p.m. on Glenwood Street. 28-year-old Javier Joel Amaya of Bakersfield was shot several times. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to call Delano PD at 721-3377. All right, let's take a look at your Wednesday weather now with Kevin, and a little bit of cloud cover out there this afternoon.
Yeah, we talked about this morning that we would see an increase of some clouds throughout the day, and we're starting to see that right now. They're going to kind of come in waves, but you can see the afternoon commute is underway. Take a look at the satellite, and you can see for Kern County these little waves of clouds pushing through the area. And as we pull on out, you can see more clouds offshore. These will continue to push from the south to the north throughout the day here, and some of those clouds are going to continue to push into the Kern County area. 74 degrees for Bakersfield right now. We have a light wind out of the west at 6. As we take a look at the temperatures this afternoon, still expecting the 80s and then slipping back into the 60s as we head into the 10 o'clock hour. Tehachapi at 75 degrees and east wind at 9. And as we take a look at the afternoon here, we will see those temperatures rise in the mid to upper 70s and then sliding back by midnight in the lower 50s. We'll talk much more about your forecast. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Kevin. 17 News is your local political headquarters. And now to that fiery Democratic debate last night. The first was Senator Elizabeth Warren as the front runner, and the first since the launch of the impeachment investigation. NBC's Peter Alexander reports.
Elizabeth Warren under fire in Ohio. I appreciate Elizabeth's work, but again, the difference between a plan and a pipe dream is something that you can actually get done.
Sometimes I think that Senator Warren is more focused on being punitive or pitting some part of the country against the other.
The candidate who's seen a surge over the last several months, taking heat like a front runner after taking the top spot in several recent polls.
Your signature, Senator, is to have a plan for everything, except this.
Warren forced to play defense.
For me, this is about knowing what's broken, knowing how to fix it, and yes, I'm willing to get out there and fight for it.
But one thing all of the Democrats could agree on, the issue of impeachment, showing a united front against President Trump.
Trump is the most corrupt president in the history of this country.
Impeachment is the way that we establish that this man will not be permitted to break the law over and over without consequences.
With the crisis in Syria escalating, the Democrats blasting President Trump's abrupt withdrawal of U.S. troops.
Soldiers in the field are reporting that for the first time they feel ashamed of what their country has done.
What Donald Trump has done because of that phone call with Erdogan is basically giving 10,000 ISIS fighters a get-out-of-jail-free card.
That was NBC's Peter Alexander reporting. Meantime, Texans are camping out more than a day in advance of President Donald Trump's rally in Dallas tomorrow. The president travels to Texas on Thursday, where he'll first visit a new Louis Vuitton workshop in Keene, followed by the campaign rally in Dallas. The July earthquakes in Ridgecrest were a good reminder of the threat of the ground shaking here in California is always present. But do you really know what to do if the big one hits? Tomorrow, more than 254,000 people in Kern County will learn how to drop, cover, and hold on. Millions of Californians are set to participate. It's part of the Great Shakeout earthquake drill. Organizers say a simple drill makes dealing with the real thing much easier. You can join in, too. The drill is happening at 10:17 a.m. The Great Shakeout's happening, though, just as Northern California has felt the earth jolt in a series of quakes. The strongest was yesterday afternoon at a magnitude 4.7 and could be felt as far away as Visalia. This is video from Monday night's 4.5 magnitude quake in the Bay Area. No injuries were reported. Allergies don't discriminate. Still ahead here at noon. Hear who's saying they may actually deter crime. Plus, yet another huge benefit from exercise as experts weigh in on its believed benefits against cancer. Your 17 Health Watch is next. Back now on your 17 Health Watch, health experts from over a dozen organizations have weighed in. They say exercise may help people prevent, treat, and survive cancer. The experts say while exercise is important for all adults when it comes to preventing cancer, it reduces the risk for developing the 7 common types of cancer. Those types include colon, breast, endometrial, kidney, bladder, esophagus, and stomach. And physical activity was associated with improved survival among patients with breast, colon, and prostate cancers. Experts also say exercise during and after treatment helps lower fatigue, depression, and anxiety while improving quality of life for patients. If you suffer from fall allergies, right now, mold and ragweed might have you sniffling and sneezing. And while all that misery feels like it's for nothing, there may be a surprising hidden benefit. Dr. Frank McGeorge shares an interesting new study.
Studies have shown violent crime is more common as temperatures increase. Higher pollution has also been linked to higher crime rates. But what about widespread changes in health and feelings of wellness, the kind that might come from seasonal allergies? Seasonal allergies are a significant cause of work absenteeism and can be especially problematic in younger people who are also more likely to commit crimes. So a group of researchers, including Wayne State University professor Shushan Danagulian, set out to see if seasonal allergies had an effect on crime rates. Using pollen data from 15 cities across America, including Detroit, and crime statistics from those same cities,
our main finding is that on very high pollen days, we find a 4% decline in violent crime. And that finding is actually a very large number because 4% decline is equivalent to a 10% increase in the police force.
Meaning on those days, police services are less stretched by 10%. While the researchers couldn't tell exactly why this occurred, they have a theory.
People just want to be less active on high pollen days. They are more sluggish, they have seasonal allergies, they are just not feeling well, and so they're less likely to do physically demanding tasks, violence being one of them.
Interestingly, seasonal allergies only had an effect on violent crimes, not property crimes.
Researchers thought the difference they found between violent crimes and property crimes might be related to the emotional nature of violent crimes compared to the pre-planned nature of many property crimes. Emotion is more subject to how you feel, but someone probably won't call off a burglary because they feel tired. All right, now to a giveaway here on 17 News at noon. The President's own U.S. Marine Band is coming to Bakersfield, and we have your chance to win some tickets right now. This Sunday, the Marine Corps Band will perform at Mechanics Bank Convention Center. Ticket holders must be seated by 2:45 p.m. or the seats will be given away. Tickets, while free, are all reserved, but we have several pairs to give away, and we'll do that right now and also come back tomorrow for another giveaway. All you have to do is call 283-1771. We'll take caller 17. Again, the number is 283-1771. Good luck. All right, let's check out that forecast on this Wednesday.
Yeah, and somebody asked earlier, where is Mechanics Bank Convention Center? And that was the Rabobank Convention Center, and has a new name, so if you're wondering that. Outside, we talked about it this morning, some clouds drifting into the area, and we're seeing that. And we'll continue to see these waves of clouds push in throughout the day. This is outside our studios looking off to the east. Let's take a look at the numbers, and currently 74 in Bakersfield, 75 in Delano, 80 though out in Taft, and then 70s and 80s into the mountains, 75 to Hatchby, 81 Lake Isabel, and 76 in Ridgecrest. Overnight, we were at 54, right on track with where we should be this time of year. Normal high today is 80 and 98. The record set back in 1954. We've got 74 and some clouds out in Wasco right now. Arvin, you've got some high clouds and 79, and then up in the mountains, partly cloudy and 77 for Golden Hills. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you can see these waves of clouds pushing on through. And again, that is going to be in place for most of today into tomorrow morning as we have this fetch of cloud cover offshore. It's very dry. It doesn't have a lot of moisture content with it, so we're not expecting any rain. We are watching another system out of the northwest, and that will impact our weather starting tomorrow into Friday as well. Right now, temperatures sitting into the 60s for the Bay Area, 73 in Fresno, and then down to the south. For some reason, we saw a spike in the temperatures as we hit an 11 o'clock hour. 91 if that temperature gauge is right out in Los Angeles, 77 in San Diego. We'll get to confirm, we'll be able to confirm that number later on today. 76 on the high in Sacramento. Still the forecast calling for the lower 90s down in Los Angeles, 78 in San Diego, and 87 out of Las Vegas. Here's a look at the big picture. A lot going on here in terms of the clouds offshore. This is our next cold front. So even though LA is seeing the warmth today, they are going to start to cool down. We've got rain in the Pacific Northwest. This is going to slide through tomorrow. I expect the winds to pick up, and then we'll see the cooler air behind it. And you can see on the Futurecast model, it does bring in these clouds throughout the day into early tomorrow morning. But in terms of the moisture, it's far-fetched. And tomorrow, maybe a little drizzle, just maybe. I wouldn't count on it. If you blink, you'll probably miss it. But increasing clouds, as mentioned today, 80s in place. Cooler weather on Thursday and a chance of some drizzle and breezy conditions out on the west side and into the Kern County mountain and desert locations. And then next week, another ridge builds back in. We'll see warmth, and the fire danger may increase once again. Air quality today going to be unhealthy for sensitive groups with an AQI at 101. And here's what we're looking at today. 86 in Bakersfield, 84 in Delano and McFarland, 83 in Taft. For the mountains in the Kern River Valley, 76 in Frazier Park, same out in Tehachapi. And then we'll look for 85 Lake Isabella, 84 in Kernville. And then for the desert today, look for 82 in Mojave. Your extended forecast tomorrow, 75 degrees. So we drop it about 10 degrees and then keep those 70s in place through about Monday. Back in the 80s Tuesday. Mountain forecast tomorrow, a little bit of drizzle, maybe a little bit on the windy side as well. And temperatures into the 60s, lower 60s as we go throughout the rest of the work week, and then a little warmer next Tuesday. And then for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow much cooler as well.
All right, thanks so much, Kev.
Yep.
Well, who are the people in your neighborhood? If you don't know, technology can help in ways unlike ever before. We'll showcase a few apps to help you get connected.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. Checking out stocks, and they are little changed today. They are down a bit, though. The Dow is down about 34 points in trading. The Nasdaq down 29. The S&P 500's down 6. And part of the reason they're little changed and down a little bit is this right here, retail sales. We'll talk about in just a moment. Oil prices, $53.31 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate, and Midway Sunset started the day at $56.56 a barrel. Now to those retail sales I was just talking about. They dropped in September by the largest amount in 7 months. It's another warning sign that rising trade tension and volatile stock markets are having an impact on consumer spending. Today, the Commerce Department said retail sales fell 0.3% last month. It was the first decline since February. Economists had been counting on continued strength to protect the U.S. economy as it's buffeted by the fallout from President Donald Trump's trade war with China. Chipotle is going to pay for its employees to get tech or business degrees. The new program launches next month and is the chain's latest attempt to attract and hang on to talent. Employees who have been at the company for at least 120 days and work a minimum of 15 hours a week can choose from 75 different degree programs at 5 schools. The employees stay with Chipotle while in school, and the company asks them to remain for at least 6 months after they earn their degrees. From finding local garage sales and freebies to helping maintain a safe community, it can pay to stay connected to those who live in your neighborhood. SPC Mike Wendland reports a growing number of apps can help provide that connection like never before.
Nextdoor is an app that serves as a kind of private bulletin board for your neighborhood. Exchange news, events, concerns, items for sale, recommendations, and other services instantly. Simply confirm your address within a specific area, and you can start interacting in your own neighborhood online community. It's free for iOS and Android. FreeCycle is a nifty platform that connects those with extra food, housewares, supplies, and other odds and ends with those who could use them. FreeCycle helps foster connections among neighbors, emphasizes sustainability, and it cuts down on waste. It's free for iOS and Android. Neighbors by Ring is an app that allows a neighborhood to take a group-based approach to safety. The app gives you real-time alerts from your neighbors and local law enforcement. The idea is to stop burglaries, prevent package theft, and to make communities safer. And if you spot something suspicious in your area, you can anonymously post a text, photo, or video to keep the community on the lookout. It's free for iOS and Android.
Now, I know I gave you all that information pretty fast. If you want more information about it, just go over to my PC Mike Tech blog. There's my address on your screen. I've built in direct links to everything you just saw. Till next time, I'm PC Mike Wendland for NBC News.
It's one surprise they weren't ready for. We're back with the story of what was waiting in the next room at the White House for a grieving family whose son was killed in a wrong-way crash involving an American diplomat. Welcome back, and now to the latest on a British family's fight for justice after their son was killed in a wrong-way crash involving the wife of an American diplomat. Yesterday, they took their case directly to the White House and received a surprising offer. NBC's Stephanie Gosk is here with details.
The grieving parents of Harry Dunn revealing the news as they left the White House in tears.
One final question. The bombshell was dropped not soon after we walked in the room, and Secoulis was in the building. And was willing to meet with us.
Charlotte Charles and Tim Dunn meeting with President Trump, but refusing to meet with the wife of an American intelligence officer, Ann Secoulis, who killed their 19-year-old son in a wrong-way car crash.
We weren't ready to meet us. We felt a bit rushed, and I don't think it would have gone too well.
President Trump surprised the couple by telling them Secoulis was actually in the next room.
So Ann Secoulis was in a different room?
Yes. Yeah.
And he expected you to meet her without warning.
He offered.
I think that's what he wanted, yeah.
It comes as Secoulis reveals new details about the crash, admitting she was driving on the wrong side of the road and had no time to react when she saw the motorbike approaching. The crash happened too fast, but she claimed diplomatic immunity. She returned to the U.S. 3 weeks after the accident, saying in a statement, it was too difficult to stay under the circumstances.
I felt the sincerity, but all I can do is hope that sincerity will be carried forward to try and get a result for us.
In a letter from her legal team, Secoulis said she was terribly sorry for that tragic mistake, adding she wants to meet with the family to apologize and take responsibility. But Dunn's parents insist that meeting take place back home.
We basically reiterated that we would still be willing to meet, but on UK soil. She needs to come back and face the justice system.
The UK Foreign Secretary said that diplomatic immunity is no longer relevant in the case, and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson urged her to return.
We are no further on in terms of getting what we want, which is having Mrs. Secoulis return to the UK. And in fact, that was made pretty clear to us at one point that was never going to happen.
Apparently, during this meeting with the president, he promised the parents that he would look into this from a different angle, which has seemed to have given them some hope that maybe they'll get what they want. NASA may not have the support it needs from Congress to accelerate its moon mission from 2028 to 2024. In a hearing with the House Subcommittee on Appropriations this morning, NASA executives tried to make their case to early up the Artemis mission, which would be a precursor to a Mars landing. Congressman Jose Serrano, chair of the subcommittee, expressed concern over funding beyond the $22 billion already appropriated. Members also pointed to a possible political impetus for moving up the mission.
You were very clear that you don't want to take money from other NASA programs because you don't want to hurt those programs. I don't want to go to the moon by taking money from people who can't afford to survive in this society to the level that they should survive in this society. And so that is a big problem that we have to get over.
Congressman Jose Serrano also said he believes the motivation for moving up the moon mission is so that it falls within the president's second term if he gets one. Coming up, it's a shirt unlike any other made before. We're back with details of the clothing that's helping deaf people feel the music.
Finally at noon, a really cool story. A high-tech jacket created by a London-based fashion company allows deaf people to feel the music through their clothing.
British fashion bloggers Herman and Heroda Burhane love dancing, but the twin sisters can't hear the music because they're both deaf. So the invention of a jacket with sensors that enables them to feel the sound has transformed their nights out in London clubs. The sound shirt was created by London-based fashion company Cute Circuit. It has 16 sensors embedded in the fabric, so wearers can feel violins on their arms, for example, while drums beat on their backs.
It's almost like feeling the depth of the music. It just feels as though we can move along with it. So it's another sensation that's really different. And I think it could definitely change our lives.
There are no wires inside. It uses smart fabrics with microelectronics, so the shirts remain soft and flexible. And sound shirts are expected to go on sale for a pretty hefty price tag, more than $3,600. But the twin sisters say they believe it's a price worth paying if you're deaf and enjoy music as much as she and her sister do.
Did you just say 3,600? Is that
Yes.
3,600 pounds or dollars?
It said dollars in the story, but that would be a
That's a It's a pricey shirt.
It is pricey.
But whatever makes somebody's life more enjoyable.
Pretty neat, yeah. All right, thanks for joining us here for 17 News at noon. We'll see you back tonight at 5 and 6.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.